Hello everyone, Chaos here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video.
Are you running a 2-0 because of your Inquisitors on the melee hand?
Guys, don't worry, I'll do the no-touch fast.
We walk under for Beba Muta, yeah?
Hey guys, we doing any raids or...?
Yeah, sure, go gear up.
Alright, who's ready for the next one?
Yeah, my mom is calling. I have to go. Bye.
Yeah, I gotta walk my penguin, man, I'm sorry.
Mate, yeah, I really wish I could, but I really don't want to.
Guys, we all have that one friend who is super excited for Chambers or a Theater of Blood, but most of your group knows that taking that friend to the raid might be a little counterproductive to say the least. If you're watching this, you could potentially be that friend, so in today's video I will give you my top 10 tips on how to improve at PvMing in order for your friends to battle over who takes you raiding with them. The intro was already long enough, so let's not waste any more time. Remember to subscribe with notifications on, join the Discord, and thank you to my friends Lau, Avo, and Framar for helping out with the intro. No disclaimers for this one other than this video being unscripted and my personal tips, so if you have any more to add, make sure to leave them in the comments below. So, let's begin. Alright fellas, the first tip is going to be a 4-for-1 special. You should learn about and understand all of these concepts and get used to them as soon as possible. These are the tick system, attack speeds, prayer flicking, and finally the use of F keys. If this is your first time hearing about the tick system, everything that happens in RuneScape will be registered at a rate of 0.6 seconds or 1 game tick, and we can use this to our advantage. On the topic of attack speeds, let's say that a monster attacks every 4 ticks. You can turn your protection prayers on at the exact tick they will start attacking in order for you to avoid or mitigate damage. This is known as prayer flicking, and you can also apply this to your own weapons. The moment you attack, you can turn your boosting prayers on, and doing this will save you some supplies in the long run, as you won't spend as many prayer points by using this method. Finally, I recommend using the F keys as soon as possible, as it will be essential for you to navigate through your menu. You can assign F keys to important panels such as inventory, prayer, spellbook, equipment, and so on, in order for you to spend less time clicking and more time DPSing. The reason why I grouped all of these together is because I've talked about them extensively on previous videos, and in order not to make this one longer than it should be, I will include a bunch of useful information in the description below. For the next one, I recommend getting used to how movement works in old school RuneScape. This is not going to be essential if you're doing some casual Slayer or low-level PvMing, but later down the road, knowing where your character is standing and where it's going will actually be a life or death situation. For this, if you are using RuneLite, I recommend activating the True Tile Indicator, and this is also a feature on the new and improved mobile client. The more you know about where your character is every step of the way, it will become second nature and it will be super useful for later encounters. As an added bonus, I highly recommend trying the Hallowed Sepulchre regardless of your agility level, obviously if you can, even access the content, because it will teach you so much more about the movement for your future self will thank you for it. And hey, it's better to train at a place where there's barely any risk instead of somewhere where dying might actually cost you. Related to movement, learning how to stack monsters will be helpful when it comes to speeding up your experience gains. Again, if this is your first time hearing about this, stacking is basically performing this movement on diagonal tiles next to a corner on the ground in order for monsters to walk on top of each other, making a juicy stack for you to barrage or chin. Monster stacking opens the way to some of the best training methods when it comes to Slayer, Magic, and Ranged, and the less time you spend training these levels, the more time you will have attuning your PvMing abilities. You can try this at places such as the Catacombs of Kourend by killing Abyssal Demons, Necreals, Jellies, Dust Devils, or even at the Monkey Madness 2 caves with Maniacal Monkeys, to mention a few. Once you try this, you will hit the dopamine rush you have been waiting for a long time. Boys and girls, tip number 7 is going to be doing PvMing activities according to your levels, and this goes two ways. You should obviously pay attention to your character levels, but most importantly, your own abilities. If you're starting at base 50s or 60s, getting membership for the very first time, and you have your sights set to things like Chambers of Xeric or the Theater of Blood, you might be slightly disappointed to learn the amount of levels, gear, and mechanics you need in order to even attempt these challenges. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with starting your bossing journey with easy encounters such as the Giant Mole or even the Barrows Brothers and so on, and once you feel like you're ready for mightier foes, get whatever you need in order to start venturing into more daring challenges. Now, I'm not saying you can't try higher level bossing right away, but if you don't do enough damage, you may only get 1 or 2 kills per trip at your preferred boss, and you're just going to waste so much time that's better spent getting stronger and richer for you to be able to do said boss much more efficiently. So, for this one, know your skill ceiling and increase it bit by bit every single day. More specifically for bossing though, I then recommend for you to go from easy to hard difficulty in terms of all of the powerful monsters you can find throughout Gielinor. I have an extremely useful bossing progression ladder on my channel you guys can use as a roadmap for you to test your abilities and get a feel for the bosses according to their difficulty. Now, I'm not saying you should do them in order, but if you're new to this game or you've been playing for a while but are not that confident yet, you can see what bosses you can do according to your levels and skill, and try those out to figure out how fast you can improve. Also, if you're able to beat the stronger monsters, that doesn't mean that you should do bosses that are objectively easier than those, but getting a feel for all of them will give you a ton of knowledge you can use later on in scarier places. On a final note, even though most of the community agrees on what bosses are harder than others, that doesn't mean that there is a definitive tier list and that you should take it for granted. You can find some bosses harder than others, or even if it's not the traditional progression, so you don't get too worried if a set difficulty is not what you expected. On a related note, the next tip is going to try new things in order to learn new mechanics. We all know there's that one boss or activity you've been putting off for as long as you can, but you will have to do eventually. The faster you try that boss out for the very first time, the quicker you will get used to it, and you will find that it's honestly not as intimidating as you once thought. You will never know how easy or difficult something truly is until you try it yourself. This is something I always tell people when they ask me how hard the Inferno is, for example. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch, it doesn't matter how many tips your friends give you, as long as you don't try it yourself, you will never know how you will react to it. I highly encourage you guys to give new bosses a try whenever you are comfortable with new activities. Just recently on stream, I've been trying a bunch of new bosses for my combat achievements, and I can tell you that all of them have been easier than I once thought. So, join me and try a new boss right after this video. Now, what happens if you are going to try a brand new boss? Well, you have to learn as much as possible beforehand. It's one thing to actually experience the mechanics yourself, but the more information you have about the boss, the better for you to be prepared for it. How much HP does the boss have? Does it have different phases? What items should you bring? What special weapon should you take? Where should you stand? All of these and more are questions you should ask before trying a new boss. For that, I recommend watching a few videos, reading up on the wiki about it. Hell, even ask people in different Discord servers might be incredibly useful, and you can even find people to do a live demonstration for the boss or even coach you throughout the kill. If this is something that interests you, we've been helping a ton of new people in our Discord server, so don't be afraid to ask anything you may potentially want. After all, every single player has been in our situation at one point. So, what a better way to learn from people who have actually experienced the boss you are about to try yourself. On the topic of learning, if you are really analytical about your gameplay, you can even record your own bossing trips and learn from any mistakes you may have done during the encounter. This is a tip I yoinked from my Inferno guide, as recording your runs will be incredibly useful for you to learn more about wave spawns, wave solving and so on, but if you are learning any other boss, you can't go wrong with recording your trips with a tool such as OBS to learn quicker. Now, if your PC is not as powerful to run both things at once, or even you just don't want to record it, you have to be aware when you actually do mistakes, quickly learning from them, and avoid doing them in the future. This is especially important because if you make a mistake at a place like Demonic Gorillas and you just tank the hit, all you're gonna need to do is eat and continue the fight. Later on though, a mistake could potentially mean death at places like Vorkath or Hydra, and these are actually going to cost you money. Or, for example, at any raid, dying could potentially mean a team wipe and cost your entire team precious time and money. So, learn from them as soon as possible. The second to last tip isn't really related to bossing or mechanics, but rather gear and the overall state of your account. Guys and girls, you have to spend money to make money. It doesn't matter how minimal you think that extra upgrade is, if you're a normie account such as myself and you can upgrade your gear, stop thinking about it and get it as soon as possible. To give you an example, at the time of making this video, a Dexterous Prayer Scroll is a 14 million GP, which will unlock the Rigor Prayer at level 74. If you're gonna camp a boss or monsters which, you need ranged for, and you're hesitating to buy it because it's most of your cash stack, go buy it and use it immediately. It will be such a ridiculous DPS increase for your future self, we'll thank you for it. Money sitting at the bank is good for supplies and emergency, but the better gear you have, the faster your kills will be, and the more time you are going to save. So, whatever you're doing, go get that upgrade you've been wanting for a while, and use it in order to make your money back quicker than before. My final tip is possibly the most important one, not only for the game, but you could even apply it to real life. Go ahead and push your limits. It's cool that you can clear the 5 caves at a record time, but really, how useful is it if you don't even have an Infernal Cape? If you keep doing the same bosses over and over and over again because it's your comfort zone, you will never know your true limits if you don't get out of it. If you're dreading a piece of content for whatever reason, go ahead and try it as soon as you can to see that it's not really as hard as you think. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you should try raids or even the Inferno if you're base 70s for example, but pushing your limits according to your level will actually take you higher and higher in terms of knowledge and the mechanics. And you will obviously get more comfortable with trying new content the farther your account goes. Guys, it doesn't matter how impossible something looks, with enough time and dedication, if you really want it, you will get it eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed and you learned something useful. If you made it so far today, we have another bond giveaway, and I will pick a random comment that talks about the following. Tell me what boss you are afraid of at the moment, and what is stopping you from doing it, as well as what you plan on doing it to finally give it a try. I will pick a random comment on Friday, pin your comment on this video, and ask for your Discord ID to get in contact and coordinate the drop. I want to give a massive thank you to all my channel members for joining this project. Your support honestly means the world to me. The crew has gotten so big that I've had to redesign this image twice now, and you have no idea how grateful I am for all of you, by the way. If you would like to support this channel monetarily, you can click the join button below and see all of the cool perks and rewards you can get out of your monetarily pledge. Both in the videos, in the live streams, and of course, in the Discord. Thank you guys so much for watching, and in the next one, we will go over a list of bosses that will help you develop crucial abilities to transition into raids and super high level bossing. You guys have a great week, and I will see you then. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Peace.
Good luck, everyone.
Oh.
Yeah?
Purple.
Oh my god.
No way. Oh my god. Nice. Are you...
Again?
Wait.
Do I have to split that, or do I not have
It's